Rome, 897 AD. A city of shadows and ancient stone, where the line between divine power and mortal vengeance was about to vanish forever. The Lateran Basilica stood tall against a stormy sky, a silent witness to a tragedy that would stain the history of the papacy. Beneath the surface of holy duty, a bitter struggle for control between aristocratic families and the Church tore the city apart. At the center of this storm was Pope Stephen VI, a man consumed by the political demands of his powerful patrons, the Spoleto family. But Stephen's fury was not directed at the living. It was focused on a ghost, his predecessor, Pope Formosus. In the dead of night, under Stephen's command, a group of terrified laborers entered the graveyard with shovels and lanterns. They exhumed the coffin of Formosus, who had been dead for 9 long months. The air grew cold as the lid was pried open. The macabre work began. The decaying body was cleaned and dressed in stiff, ceremonial papal robes of gold and white. The Lateran Basilica was transformed into a courtroom of the damned. Uneasy clergy gathered, their faces pale with disbelief and fear. There on the papal throne sat the defendant. Pope Formosus, a skeletal spectre, was propped up to face his accuser. Pope Stephen VI paced aggressively before the corpse, his voice echoing through the vaulted ceiling as he shouted his charges. Beside the dead man stood a young deacon, trembling and pale. His task was to whisper answers on behalf of the deceased. "Why did you usurp the universal Roman See in your ambition?" Stephen screamed. The silence of the corpse was its only defense. The trial, known as the Cadaver Synod, was a spectacle of madness. The deacon's voice was a mere whisper against Stephen's roar. As the hours passed, the atmosphere grew suffocating. The scent of incense failed to mask the smell of decay filling the hall. The verdict was inevitable. Formosus was found guilty of all charges. His papacy was declared void and his acts annulled. Then came the desecration. Stephen ordered the holy vestments to be stripped from the body, exposing the rotting skin beneath. The 3 fingers of his right hand, the fingers used to bestow papal blessings, were sliced off as a final act of humiliation. The body was dragged from the hall and through the streets of Rome, a ghastly parade that horrified even the most hardened citizens. Finally, the remains were cast into the grey, swirling waters of the Tiber River, meant to be forgotten by history forever. But the people of Rome had seen enough. The desecration of a pope, dead or alive, sparked a fury that Stephen did not anticipate. A mob descended upon the Lateran. The very families who supported Stephen now turned their backs as the city erupted in chaos. Stephen VI was stripped of his power and thrown into a dark, damp dungeon. The hunter had become the prey. In the summer of 897, justice came for the vengeful pope, not in a court, but in the silence of his cell. Hands emerged from the darkness. Stephen was strangled to death, a brutal end for a man who tried to put death itself on trial. In the years that followed, the Church sought to heal the wound. Successive popes worked to restore the memory of Formosus. His body was said to have been recovered from the Tiber by a hermit, and eventually he was reburied with full honors. The Cadaver Synod remains a chilling reminder of how political obsession can lead even the highest offices into madness. Even in an age of ruthless ambition, some lines cannot be crossed without consequence. History never truly forgets. Like and follow for more chilling accounts from the darkest corners of human history.